What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den is a conversation, a place where everybody's free to express their opinions, whether you agree or disagree. Just got to remember we're all friends in the Den, even though we may not always see eye to eye. Your thoughts and your opinions are always welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about, do men and women hate each other? And I think it's a very interesting conversation to have because in these times it always seems as though you're hearing this stuff, maybe it's a lot of it with feminists. You heard the MGTOWs, you've heard all these things, and men are tired of women's bullshit and they want men's rights. Let's not act like men don't already have enough rights, but still, I understand where they're coming from. Then you hear the shit about, let me fix this. Then you hear the shit about, women hate men because, and again, it's a lot of it is led by that extremist ideology, of a lot of these feminists, and I think they're just trying to upset the whole apple cart. But, we're going to talk about that and a lot of other things tonight. This is the Den. We try to stay on topic, but yeah, usually that doesn't happen because, again, it's about you guys. It's about the conversation. I'm just your host, and then we'll open up the Den line a little bit later. And we'll have some discussions about some things, and whatever's clever, whatever's on your mind, and whatever thoughts that you may have, things you guys want to dive into this evening. So, with that being said, I hope you're all doing well tonight. I hope you're all having a good evening, and I hope you're all right. I don't give a damn about your Spurs. I actually didn't catch the game. I had missed it. I think I may do a mixer tonight before the gym. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But do we have joined us this evening? I see I gave you power. See Jay Bird. I don't know which Jay Bird it is. There's like a million Jay Birds. We're all Jay Bird. And Jason S. And that's the thing, though. It's not about individuals. It just seems like as a society that men and women, it seems like everybody's becoming more and more distant. Sometimes it's men and women. It could be a racial thing. It could be a lot of stuff. And, we can point fingers and we can say it's this person's fault or it's because of this type of culture or whatever it may be. But we got to get to the solution because ultimately, what is the point of complaining if we don't come up with solutions? So I don't know who's to blame. There's a lot of things that we could look at, a lot of things that we could talk about, a lot of things that we could point at and say, this is the reason or that is the reason. Again, like I said, we just got to fix the problem. So first, we got to figure it out. Why do men and women seem to despise each other more and more? Is it a science thing? Is it is it a culture thing? What is it that is causing these particular problems? And so my thing, personally, that I think is this internet culture. I think a lot of it has to do, now I think there's a lot of stories. I think, you can talk about the government as part of it too. I think the government is a part of it. I think the internet culture has changed a lot of stuff. And not just the internet culture, but segments of the internet culture. Because what the internet does, it allows pockets of people to get together and have a discussion that allows other people just to co-sign them and say that they're right, without ever looking at the opposite side, without ever looking at the sides of other people and their thinking. So, the way I look at it, you said I had a mixture at 10:30. It was like 11:30. When was that? It was one. It might have been one other week. That was like maybe sometime last week. But since I've been playing the Red Dead, some of them were a little bit later, but I did get on. I had one. You might have caught that one because I got on and I had to install Red Dead, and I didn't realize, how big of a dilly dally it was, and it took forever to install. It took quite a bit, 2 fucking discs and shit. So it could have been that night, but I have Well, last night I went on the mixer, but I mixed it up this whole weekend. I do believe I did mix it up this whole weekend. This one was just a little bit late. Again, I might do another one this evening. We'll see. Maybe between now and by the time I go work out, I try to go to the little gym after 12, so I don't have to worry about anybody else being in there. I can move around how I like. Yeah, if that was the case, then I got on, and then I realized that like what all I had to do, I thought all I was gonna have to do is get the little 4 gig update, but then it turned out that I had to download a lot more. So you know what I mean. Um, so you say, so as a man, I would think that women hate us because we're immature as we give a shit. No, I don't. I don't think that's quite the case. Because if you look at it in that perspective, yeah, it makes sense. But men do all the dirty work. I mean, again, like the simple point that I always use is, when is the last time you've seen a woman out picking up trash? You know, when have you seen? When's the last time you saw a female garbage collector? Now, I'm not saying there aren't female truck drivers, because there's plenty of them, but these occupations are primarily male that require. You go to a construction site, overwhelmingly male. Women can get hired on. They generally do some of the easier jobs like fire watching and things like that. But for the most part, men are expected to, be the lover, be the provider, be the father figure, be all these things. And, for the most part, women are just expected to be able to collect. Now, it's not like that. It's a different day and age, but I think that's part of the reason why. I think that, again, let me finish what I said earlier first, and then we'll get into that. I think that because, the internet allows people to kind of get in these little echo chambers, and women just feel like, oh, well, men, this, and this, and they omit what men really do. And all they do is talk about the stories where some man broke their heart because of this, that, and the third. But again, they don't talk about what they did to it, because in their minds, they don't feel like they did anything wrong. And a lot of times it can be a lot of things that women do, the nagging, the little annoying things. Like you want your man to be all this other stuff and then sit here and listen. It's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense for men. Men don't want to be, and it's not saying that they don't want to be your friend, but a lot of the shit that women want to talk about, men don't give a fuck about. You want to watch gossipy shows, and that's why I say I think a lot of dudes nowadays are kind of like suckers, because they sit there and watch these bullshit ass shows, these like just weird shit that just men really don't get into. And it is what it is, and I understand sometimes you do it as bonding time, and so I'm not knocking all of it, but you have guys who get into it. Like, some dudes will sit there while their old lady watches shit, kind of be doing their own thing, but then you have guys who get into the shit, these fucking soap opera like shows and things with their old lady, and be just as into it as he. And again, that's you want a female friend. You need to go out and make some female friends if that's the case. But women hate women just as much as they hate men. Women hate everybody. But so again, like I'm saying, it's a crazy situation, because I think the internet has a significant amount to do with a lot of these things, because again, you allow people to get in these chambers, and you allow these guys to go in their little holes, and say, well, a woman did this to me and I feel broken. And okay, it's just the way the world do. You do, jump back up, get on your horse, and ride again. Do your thing. Like, you can't sit there and just be upset about what happens to you as a woman, as a person, period. Because what we do is we make bad decisions. We get with people, for the most part, that may or may not be good for us, or we allow our circumstances, or we allow our environment or something to attract us to a person that may not be the best situation for us, and then we act like that one person is the representative of every other person from that sex. We never look at ourselves. If you're a man and you keep getting a situation over and over, women say you keep getting with women who continue to cheat on you, or whatever it may be. Maybe you need to look at yourself. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's the women that you gravitate towards. Maybe it's your performance. Maybe it's the things that you do. If you're a woman and you're in the same boat, maybe it's you. Improve what you can about yourself, and figure out what it is that you got to do to improve your whole situation. And so you see like these groups where it's like the men going their own way, and you see this this red pill thing that goes on where, these motherfuckers try to make this whole science about fucking dealing with women. It's none of that shit. You don't need all that goofy shit. A lot of that shit to me is goofy. You just know how to handle the people you deal with. And women, I think when it's gotten away from the traditional structure of, again, women taking care of the household and men, going out and providing and things like that, I think in mass, it's kind of altered the dynamics of things. It's just changed the culture. It's changed the way that people have interacted. It's changed the way that people operate. And I think that people are getting tired of each other. I think people are getting. Do I believe in astrology? Somewhat. It's some kind of sense. That's very strange, Mr. Rabbit writing backwards, but it is what it is. And I'd agree though when you're talking about child support, feminism, allowing these courts to get involved in relationships, and you have a lot of situations where I can understand men who have children with these women. It's supposed to be for deadbeat dads. That's what child support is supposed to be for, not for your emotional support because you're upset because you felt like this motherfucker did something to you. That's not the case. You don't get fucking child support for that. It's a lot of good dads who end up getting put in bad situations because it's not about them not taking care of their kids. And I know a lot personally, but it's about the women who were upset because they felt like if I had a kid with this guy, I was going to trap him, I was going to hold him down, or again, it could be you had a healthy relationship, but then maybe y'all just had a difference of opinion, but he still takes care of the kid, but you want something, you do things out of emotional anger or whatever it may be, liability or not liability, but you feel like he should have some type of liability, that allows you to not have to deal with something. But again, I think if it's that bad, just give him the kids, but you don't ever see that. But y'all are weird. But again, like I say, you got to think about the individual situation, and then what about you? Where are you coming to play in this whole scenario? Like, what is it about you that gets put in these situations? Because I've had good relationships, I've had bad relationships, but ultimately, I look at what I could have done better. I look at the person that I may or may not have been involved with, or it could have been a brief thing, or it could have been a long-term thing, or whatever it is. But if it didn't work out, was it me? What did I do? How did I perform in this situation? Then I look at that other person and say, what was it about them that caused this situation? And sometimes, again, people aren't all that. Sometimes I think you have a lot of women who think just because they have a pussy and a dude or two fucked them before, told them it was good, that they just have the best shit ever. If you can make significant references of every dude told you your shit was great, well then what is that really telling you? It's telling that you really get around. It's not that you got good pussy. It just means that you it is what it is. Who knows? Again, maybe they will pull up, maybe not. But sometimes YouTube doesn't give out the notifiers, and sometimes it does. YouTube does what it wants to do. And so my thing is, though, you have to account for your own actions, because ultimately that's what you the only thing you can do. And so if we're going to get to the source of it, have I ever had frostbite? No. Even though I've yet to wear, what is this? It was like, I think it got down to 30-something today. I not refuse, but I have not felt the need yet to wear a jacket. So what is this, 37 now? So I've gone so far since it's been cool, I have not worn a jacket. And it's not to say that I'm just ice proof, but it is to say Rock's got the dub, awesome. It's to say that I don't know, like I said, because I've been doing this thing where, again, I told y'all for the last couple of months that I've been taking nothing but cold showers deliberately. It ain't like the gas is off or the fucking water heater doesn't work. It's deliberately taking fucking cold showers. Because it's about, when you start your day off doing something you don't want to do, it makes you more inclined towards productivity, because those things that you're willing to put off and you don't want to, it makes you more willing to do those things. And so I've been doing that. I've been starting my days off, ending my nights with a cold ass shower. And I think once you get to the point of getting used to that, like I say, it's been a few months. Once you get used to that, I'm wondering if that's had some type of effect on me going outside in the cold. You know what I mean? So, and I'm trying to figure that out. But because normally I'd be the first motherfucker to tell you I need a goddamn jacket. If this shit get below 70, I need a motherfucking jacket. But as of yet, I haven't felt that need. I'm sure it's going to continue to get colder. I'm sure eventually I'll wear one. But at the same time, it's not like I've been outside for hours and hours and hours at a time, like at a single time. But I've been outside quite a bit. And so yet, like I say, no need for the jacket yet. So I'm wondering why that is, but we'll figure it all out. Um, but again, getting talking back to about men and women, why they hate each other, and I think that it's not. I don't think that it's that they necessarily really hate each other. I think that we hate the idea of one another. You say you live in St. Louis for 3 years, calling the motherfucker every oh yeah, ain't now that I already know shit. Hell no. To the no. Can't do it. I'm mad. Like I was mad at Veterans Day. Not because of the veterans, not because I got some type of beef, but I thought that it was on technically on Sunday, so I was like, all right, cool. I had some packages that ended up getting held up because of Veterans Day. It was a selfish thing, but I'm honest, so I was mad about it. Yeah, I beat the first Red Dead. See, I was the original Red Dead. A lot of these motherfuckers knew to that Red Dead shit. But now I'm wondering because I got some packages that are supposed to still be coming, and excuse me. And I know that I'm trying to see because one of them supposed to be coming out of California, so I'm hoping that it's not affected by the wildfires. And then I heard there's supposed to be like a wildfire in North Carolina or something like that too, because I got a package coming out that way too. I'm hoping that yeah. Is it selfish of me? Is it careless? No, not careless. What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe I guess careless would work. That I'm just more concerned about my stuff and I don't know about the wildfires. Maybe I'm not gonna go fight fire, so I guess that's unfortunate. Um, It says so normally had this assembly freshmen go to the cafeteria where they were trying to live the distribute some of the gyms. The cafeteria didn't work. Well, look, tell them, let me come hook that up for them. No shit, yeah. Look, it's gonna get started up. I'm waiting on shit. I'm like, well, goddamn, can I get my shit? Oh, is it fire? Somebody needs to run through that fire and get my package. Goddamn, because shit been sitting there. Shit was supposed to be express shipped. Shit been sitting there for like 2 or 3 days. But getting back to the topic though, you wonder, you know what I mean? Like, is it society and is it other people? Are we allowing other people to infect our minds with these ideas about men, about women? Because ultimately, there are good people out there. There are people who I guess would be properly compatible, but for the most part, I think we settle as people because we want to be in a particular situation and those opportunities don't look brighter. I'm tired of looking. I'm tired of dealing. I've had so many bad experiences. But ultimately, you just got to keep trucking. Like, that's the thing. That's what life is. Like, you can't give up on life. And I'm saying this from a person for a point I did. I was just, I was devastated about some things. And so I just kind of wasn't really searching for anything. I was just kind of existing. Like, there was a decent period of my time where I just existed. Like, I mean, wasn't doing anything beneficial for myself. I wasn't thriving in the way that I should have. I was just existing. And so my thing is, the bots on? Oh, no, they're not on. So, you will not know your top 5 time. That's what happened when I don't stream. When I don't go daily, I miss a couple of days of streaming and shit. I start forgetting how to work the devices and shit. But ultimately, like, you got to just keep trucking. And, so even if you've been scorned a bunch of times, but here's the thing, though, the unfortunate thing with women, and again, it is what it is because that's the way society's made it, is you only got about 1, if you're lucky, 2 fuck ups in you. And what I mean by that is getting pregnant by different dudes, because once you start bringing that extra baggage, you might as well call it a wrap, because it kills me about the women who have this mind state that, well, if he loves me, he should accept. Well, yeah, he could love you, and maybe he doesn't want to take on that whole situation, and so he doesn't have to take you. He doesn't have to be a father to your kids and all these other things. That's because if he chooses to, that's one thing. But you have a lot of people who feel like, I mean, they did, he got to take me and all my problems. Like, women feel like it's okay for them to come as is, like they don't have to improve. But a man needs to always, well, if he's a real man, this, and they have these high standards for men. But for them, it's okay to just exist, and that's what bothers me. You have a lot of You have a lot of people like that. But what you got to understand is there's compatibility. You know, you can't just have these expectations. Like, you can set some standards, but when you start saying, well, this guy has to do this and he has to do that, then that's when you, one, start limiting yourself, and then you come into a situation with these expectations, and then you're all mad and upset because you had overly high standards and expectations, and then, you know, it didn't work that way. Instead of trying to say what everybody else needs, you need to look at yourself and figure that out. The fuck if he's a real bad. See, Charlie, you say some crazy stuff in chat. When you call it, it's always very good calls, but you be on some crazy stuff in the chat. All right, Gaby Power, appreciate you. But my thing is, you know, you have these expectations. I think that's what it is. We see all these occurrences, and I think this is what modern society has become. Because I don't think it was as bad back in the day. But it's these false expectations. We see other people's relationships, and we see, oh, well, they're doing this, and this is, you know, she's doing that, or he's doing this, and he's doing all this. And we expect that we're going to find somebody and they're going to do those exact same things. But you're not understanding what these people went through, or, you know, the conversation that these people had, or the understanding that these people have, or the fucking fakery that they just putting on for whatever cameras are on at that point in time. And so that's what people have to understand, like, especially when you go into comparing your relationships, when you start trying to compare to other people, when you start trying to, you know, be something that in reality that you're not, you're going to be upset. Oh, I hate women because I can't find no bitches like such and such, or I hate men. I want a man like, I don't fucking know, whoever. And then you go to locations, you put yourself in situations where there is nobody like that. You want to find a fucking bitch who's gonna be a princess, but yet all you do is hang out at strip club with stripper hoes, or a trash ass hole in the walls, but you think you're gonna find a bad bitch, or you're gonna fucking, you know, you're gonna find something high class when you associate with trash. I mean, that's just not how it's gonna work. Like, you know, you have to fix yourself up. Like, it kills me about like, we always talk about the fucking, we don't always talk about it. We talk about BBWs, but I remember seeing this one picture of this dude, and this dude, he was a swole ass dude, big swole ass motherfucker. And he lifted up this big ass BBW bitch, and he was carrying her, I guess, across the threshold or whatever. And then you just see all these fat hoes complain. No, I'm not complaining, but that's a real man. That's this. You got to look at something here. You think that a man has put in all that work all those years, because he had a frame that was definitely took some years to build. It wasn't no overnight sensation, maybe some steroids, who knows. But that's a real man because he put in all that work. Well, that bitch probably was sitting on a couch putting in work on a fucking bag of Mickey D's, a bag of Burger King, and probably a little bit of everything from everywhere. But he's a real man, not because of anything else, but because he's strong enough to pick your fat ass up because you don't want to do shit with yourself. You don't want to work out. You ain't trying to be in shape. So he's a real man because he accepts you in all your lacklusterness, while he puts in that type of work. That makes no sense to me. I want some Cheetos. I'm starting to go fun. But my thing is, yeah, it's just it's the craziness that bothers me. And at the same time, you know, you got dudes who be the opposite, basically the same version of the fucking female that we talking about, but he talking about he want a bad bitch that look like this and got a six pack and all that. Nigga, have you seen yourself? Like, do you know what you're talking about? Like, again, it's just, we have these expectations, and then we get mad because, you know, what we expect or what we want is not what we're going to get, because that's not what's attractive. It's like, oh, buddy, the swole dude, that's probably 1 in 100,000, if not more. I'm being nice with that type of situation. Most of the time, when you see a super big bitch, she with a little bitty skinny ass nigga, he probably can't even lift up a thigh, honestly. You know, probably can't get the wings up. She be in that motherfucker looking like I always use Wile E. Coyote references. When they used to have that little Acme bat suit, and he used to be trying to fly fucking shit, be looking like that. You know what I'm saying? You 6'1", 125. That's yeah, you might You might need to eat something, like right now. Like, go make 3 sandwiches. It takes work to eat all that food. But my thing is, you gotta fucking, you gotta be realistic with yourself, and I think that's part of the problem because we watch all these videos, we see all this shit, and we see shit that happens for other people. You don't understand why this is happening for other people. Um, but we want to be in their shoes. We want to be in their situation. Niggas, like I say, niggas be looking like who did it and why and think they gonna get some type of video hoe. You lucky if you get you a black China. She's garbage. Get your knee licked and shit, nigga. But again, like I say, it's perception, it's expectations, it's mainly us. And I say you got to look at yourself. You got to look inward at yourself. What is it that you provide? What is it that you bring to the table? Why is it that we're unhappy with a lot of situations? Why is it that most relationships end or most marriages end in divorce? I want to say it's slightly up over 50% at this point. And again, it's like, what did you bring to say? Why did you get married in the first place? Why did you not peep the signs? You have to blame yourself. Why were you so caught up in one thing? People say, oh, well, she changed or he changed. But in reality, the signs were always there, but you just chose to overlook them or not do something about them early on. And then they grew and they became more of a problem. And then you figure that a solution like having a baby or getting married, and this is both men and women, not just saying it's about women, is going to fix a solution, and then ultimately it does nothing. It just compounds one problem on top of the other problem. So now the problem is getting divorced. Now the problem is dealing with a child and everything that comes with that, and then you have to deal with those things. Then you become single, men or women. So now if you're a single man, and you trying to get with a new chick, well, guess what? You got baby mama dealing with you, and you got baby mama drama. So that's affecting the bitches that you fuck with. And you mad because hoes don't want to fuck with you because you got baby mama drama because you can't let go of that whole situation. You got to deal with that. Or generally the women have to take care of the kids. Now you're a woman with a single child, and then that's an extra added burden of having to deal with something. You got your own problems. Take care of your child. If the male is or isn't in the life of the child, that's a whole other set of circumstances. But like I say, but with most women, I think because of the way society is now, that we've come to accept, a chick's most likely going to have a kid. Well, I know at a certain age, after my age, that's what's going to happen. When you pass like 24 nowadays, you might as well expect that shit. But I think when you start having them multiples with different kids from different daddies, and they still got high expectations, that's when you got some issues. Like, you got to realize the more you pop out, the lower your expectations should probably go. So if you got one from one, and then that's another factor too. That's like you got to do some algebraic math with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Some statistics and shit. So when you add a child to the equation, your standards drop. But then there's a variant into the equation of, is it from the same father or not? Because then that can also lead to another drop in the percentages. I don't know nothing about statistics. I'm just saying some shit, but it sounds good, right? But so I think there's a lot of things, there are a lot of factors that go into that, and it works with men also. But the thing about men is, bitches don't care. Bitches don't care. I remember my was it here we were talking about, or my old lady talking? I can't remember, but was talking about a dude. I want to say it was in here. Because I think it was a show with Man Up, where somebody was talking about the fucking dude had like 20-something baby mamas, or had 20-something kids with whatever, and these motherfuckers are all basically kind of in the same vicinity. I'm sure some of them were spread out, but for the most part, they were familiar with one another. But the bitches keep fucking the nigga, keep having kids by the nigga. You ain't taking care of none of the other ones. What make you fucking think you're gonna take care of these? Like, women have this idea in their head that they gonna change a motherfucker, and then they get mad when they realize they can't change, because you can't change a motherfucker. You can only change a motherfucker if they want to change. And I think that's part of the problem, man, that you gotta deal with. Edmund, what's the motherfucking deal? I'm up here talking. Baker, man, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What the fuck was that? Say crimes of passion. See, I got some funny shit to tell y'all. Stay tuned. All right. I'll open the den line here in a little bit. Let's see. What I done miss? You say he's spilling some beans on Rary Street about the round table. Let's see. His cores are empty. Yeah. I'll be fucking up all my cores and shit like that. Everybody said everybody ignoring when he talk. That's why he ain't been on the round table. Say Muthaf didn't keep me in check. Yeah. Kids with life sentences. Better late than never. I don't know what it is. Because I remember we had chopped it up behind the scenes about a little something, but that's neither here nor there. That's a private conversation. But again, gentlemen are entitled to feel however they feel, and like I say, I'm always open to that because shit. Well, it's been a while. That was probably a couple of months ago. Last time when it was Darren and Scrooston. But if he feels a particular way, you can't tell a man how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. All right, Jason S. Now where were we at? Let's say the ride is better. What you talking? Say women are the root of all evil. Niggas with a lot of kids be broke. Well, yeah. In both ways, they either be broke because they all their child support going, or they just broke either way. Let's see. Why do women only want to date 6 foot men? Yeah, and why is that okay? Why is it okay for women to be heightists? And it's not like I have this problem because I'm over 6 feet, but they can practice heightism. You know what I'm saying? Sizeism. But if you have a standard, well, a bitch can say, well, I only date niggas if they over 6 feet tall. I mean, if you say, man, I only date bitches that got double D titties, or I only date bitches that, look like this or look like that, or then you're a sexist. Then you're all these other things. You're a bad person. But for a woman, it's standard. Well, it's a preference. She likes what she likes. But for a man, then you're about like, cause I'm telling you, man, there's been times that I remember, especially like in high school, there's been a couple other occasions where you just kind of hit that reject button on the pussy, and then, like, it could be a chicken friend. Well, such and such, she likes you. Such, I'm like, I'm cool on that. Oh, well, why you gotta be like that? It's like, just, bitch ain't my fucking type. What's wrong with that? If I wasn't her type, it wouldn't even be an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's this double standard, which are the worst standards. Shout out to Baker Man for that. That's why I adopted that phrase. You know what I'm saying? It's a bias. It's unfair. It's unfortunate. Again, and I'm saying this not from a person that was suffering from the problem, again, being over 6 feet, that is not an issue, but it is what it is. Diggity. That's funny. No, I'm not bitter. I just got bitter beer face, but I don't drink beer. You have no problem dating women that's taller than you. Oh, is it? You say I'm short and I ain't angry if you talk about. Yeah, I mean, you see, that's the thing though. But you gotta understand, like the short guy, if you're a short dude with confidence, you winning, man. But if you allow that to be a thing, trust me, women will use that on you forever. Like they'll fuck with you, even get in a relationship with you. Then when they mad at you, if they know that shit affects you, they gonna talk about you short motherfucker. You gonna be this, that, and the third. Yes, y'all weren't paying attention, were you? But again, like I say, it's just a thing that you gotta fucking deal with. You gotta understand. Okay, well, since we're doing all these stereotypes about people, well, goddamn. So my deal is this, man. Oh yeah, what y'all got going on here? I'm missing all kind of shit. Let me see. Let me see what you're talking about. Okay. Let's see. No, that's what that was. I was wondering what the fuck. It was a bunch of fucking messages. All right, my fault. So my thing is this, man. And so, like, I think is, well, my thing is this, man. You got to look at it like this. You gotta just be confident in yourself, and you gotta be willing to continue to go through the. I don't want to say go through the motions, but you got to keep pushing, man. You got to keep trucking because ultimately, you got to just keep finding. You got to keep going until you find what's right for you. If a situation is good, you don't start looking over the fence. You know, they always say the grass is greener on the other side. You got to learn to be happy and content with what you got. Don't always be worried about what you don't got, what you feel like you're missing out on. Well, that relationship is doing this or this relationship is doing that. Excuse me. You got to be unique. You got to be your own thing. You have to be your own creator of what happens in your world. You know what I hate, though? You know what I hate? You know what I hate? I hate fucking, and this is random, but I hate fucking baby reveal, gender reveals. I think that shit is fucking dumb. Go to the fucking doctor. Doctor tell you, hey, there's the little motherfucker's penis, or no dick there. You got you a non-gendered, non-binary fucking baby thing. No, but you fucking, you know, it's either a girl or a boy. Like, motherfuckers make a big fucking event celebration out of this shit. Like who was it? Was it Gordon Hayward that had the weird one? Just the shit, like, it's a fucking, you only got two options, motherfucker. Like, you gonna wait, like, and that's a woman thing. No dude ever signed up for that and said, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Because one, the woman always only fucking knows because she gonna be the one that fucking finds out first. So it's not, no dude came up with that. There's like a bored pregnant bitch who just had nothing else to do. She probably at home, knocked all the way the fuck up, probably can't work or can't do nothing. Or it could have been just a bored housewife. So bitch is bored, so she started getting overly creative. I gotta figure out a new way to surprise my husband when he gets. I went to the doctor today and I found out the baby, but I'm not gonna tell you what it is. It's gonna be a surprise. We're gonna record it and put it on Facebook for everybody. Like, bitch, this is my fucking kid. There ain't no fucking putting this shit on everything. But tell me what the fuck we having, motherfuckers. Like, you know, that type of shit. But fucking. Somebody felt like it was crazy. And she was white too. I guarantee it was a white woman who was the first person to come up with this shit. Like that, I promise you, it was a bored suburban fucking housewife did the first fucking baby reveal. Like I don't know if that information is available on Google, but I guarantee it. I know this for a fact. Like, so what happens when you? Oh man, son of a bitch! And I meant to read it. I got to go back and find it. But let me see if I can pull this shit up real quick. Let me see if I can pull this shit up real quick. Let me see. Because there's a thing. There's a thing, an article or some shit they got that I meant to read, and I want to make sure I use the term right because the term is it's scary what these people are doing. Again, this is some old liberal shit, and this is why people are like not fucking with the shit. Like, that's what people got to realize. Like, it's not that people aren't against that, or people are against, you know, equal rights and shit like that, but it's about the shit that you put primary. People want to be able to take care of their homes, take care of their families, and shit like that. When your primary focus is on gender pronouns and weird shit like that, like some old shit that just doesn't make any fucking sense, it just does not make any fucking sense, you're gonna lose a whole lot of people. You know what I mean? And a lot of people not going to be fucking with the shit. But I got to find this. It's so old because it's basically, and Snoop Dogg is whack as fuck too. Yeah, y'all seen that fucking Snoop Dogg fucking Spyro commercial? Yeah, my dude, Spyro the Dragon, he came and dropped off this new Spyro game for me. Nigga, you 172 years old, nigga. How the fuck you playing Spyro the Dragon? I ain't never even played no motherfucking Spyro the Dragon. And what the fuck you doing? You did look. You still chasing the dragon? What the fuck is going on with that shit? Yeah, man, and that's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers trying to really do some weird shit. And I mean, it's like, come on, man, what the fuck is really going on? Man, I hope I can find this shit. Please let me find this shit. Yeah. These weirdo parents. Dog. Instead of gender reveals, like I say, this is the weird shit that we get into. They no longer want to call them babies. They don't want to pick out gender at birth. They call them babies. And they can pick out their gender later in life. So they're going to try to be gender neutral with these kids and then let them pick with it. If that ain't the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Motherfucking kids don't know fucking digital from reality nowadays. They don't know what the fuck is good for them unless you set that standard. And the only parents who are setting that kind of standard are the motherfuckers who ain't tolerating that dumb bullshit. Like, kids don't need to make choices until they start getting into their like teenage. Other than that, like, you need to just be making decisions for these motherfuckers. They don't understand the fucking world. They can make little simple choices. Well, what flavor do you want? What color do you like? You know, shit like that. And you can start introducing. But as far as making life decisions, motherfucking grown ass people can't make good life decisions. So what makes you think a fucking 5-year-old is going to make a good life decision? You know, it's like, it's fucking retarded. And people who support this shit are retarded. And it's craziness, man. It's craziness. To me, the shit does not make any fucking sense. You know what I mean? But again, it is what it is. That's it. Take me don't want to go to school no more. It look like UTSA on Twitter right now. It's funny. All right, here's the deal. Give me 1 second. And then I'm going to open up the, oh man, did y'all see that R. Kelly video? The bitch tried to put a finger in his butt. I'm going to God damn. I'm gonna open up the see what? I don't know. It's like, there's too much stupid shit going on. There's going to be a bunch of this. The world is like, yeah, I don't know if people realize it. It's going downhill. Wow. So, because her feet were propped up, and the bitch called the police on her. Wow. Like I say, again, that shit is wild. I mean, that's what I mean. Like I say, there's a whole way to handle these things. For me to start telling people my plans, it's gonna cost. But I have to. I didn't listen to the fucking video. I had to fucking see this fucking thing that you were talking about because I was trying to see. But did y'all see the one about the dude in Chicago, man? The dude in Chicago, basically, I guess he was a security guard. Stopped a motherfucker from shooting the place up. Holding for the cops. Cops pull up on him and fucking killed him. Killed him straight up, you know. And this is my thing. Like I said, I'll tell you, I don't get behind every incident. every incident. I'm not going to be just because it's a black incident. Oh, this, and this. But there's been too many times where you see mass murderers and shit. He wasn't aiming a gun at them. He wasn't doing none of that. There was no attempt to defuse a situation or anything. People trying to tell him that he has a big security shit on his fucking shirt and all that other shit. And a motherfucker, you can't understand what's going on in the situation. And again, racism, probably. Lack of training, absolutely. Because again, like I say, most of these motherfuckers that you get on there are scared of to do their fucking job. I've told you the encounters I've had with them, and the shit that they say. I mean, like I say, I'll tell you all the time, it's about the shit that people say, and you pay attention to what they don't say. These motherfuckers be scared to fucking do their job. Okay, and I understand. Shit, you dealing with motherfuckers with guns. You don't want to play games. You don't want to go home. You're trying to go home every night. You don't want to get buried, and I can understand that aspect of it. But when you got people yelling at you, telling you this, that, and the third, you can't observe a situation where, that's not the right thing to do. Again, it's quick thinking. It's not easy, and I'm not sitting there saying it is, but there's no justification. This motherfucker got security on his hat and shirt and all this other shit, and you got a call about a shooter. The motherfucker ain't shooting nothing. So the fucked up thing about it, the most fucked up thing about it is ironic, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if it's ironic, but the motherfucker who stops the situation gets killed. And so I didn't get the detail, but I'm assuming that the shooter got to live and walk away. You know what I'm saying? It's much easier than you think. It's just fucking, it's much easier than you think. Like it's not that hard to become a cop. It's super easy. Like honestly, like you ain't got to finish college. You ain't got to do nothing. It's super easy. But my thing about it is, like I say, it's craziness. You know what I mean? It's craziness. I know motherfuckers be like, fuck it, I can't do nothing else. Guess I'll go fucking be a cop. I know motherfuckers did that. Stop fucking with them as soon as they did. on some real shit. Again, I just don't really fuck with the police like that. Like I said, not that I hate them. I just don't fuck with them. But you're not going to get me in some old kind of tomfoolery ass situation. But I understand it's a difficult job to do. It's difficult decisions to be made. And that's why I think that, people who are familiar with particular neighborhoods need to be the people who patrol those neighborhoods. And if you can't find those type of people from those neighborhoods, it needs to be the next best thing. But a fucked up situation because, and what I did notice is, you hear the NRA always talking about, the good guy with the gun. That's what stops the bad guy with the gun. Well, this was the fucking good guy with the gun. And he got gunned down by the good guys. But you hear nobody saying anything about it. Nobody's made any reference about it. Nobody says anything about it. But yet, people are quick to have the word Chicago all in their mouth. Well, what about Chicago? And we gotta. What happens when somebody does good in Chicago? Legal, licensed to carry everything, and then the fucking cops still kill him. Nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. Nobody even mentions it. Acts like it didn't happen. That's my thing. So, figure it out. Say UTSA presented sent 3 different letters. Oh yeah, they don't know. That's what I'm saying. They definitely gonna be in a situation. So again, like I say, it's gonna be pretty tough to figure it out. What you talking about? Let me have one. I hear who likes the cold. I gotta know. So it's no dead ass came out my fault that she was cold. Oh yeah, a crying boy. I gotta watch the whole video and see exactly what it is. But my thing is, like, that's where you have too many weak people in positions of power. Like, and that's the part of the problem. It's like you got a lot of coward ass people, trying to use the police to do every little fucking thing. And the police, they got to feel like some fucking pansies for this is what my job entails. But because somebody put their feet up, I ain't got shit else to do. I mean, that's whatever. But again, how do you feel inside? What type of coward are you inside when you can't say, hey man, get your fucking seat off, get your feet off the fucking seat? Like, come on, man, I'm trying to teach. That's if you can't do that, get out of my fucking classroom. It's that easy. You know what I mean? But again, I'm gonna have to check it all out and see what's really good with it. So, like I said, I did all that talking and all this other shit. I'm sure it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. Trump gonna tweet out she did a great job protecting our country from the foot student. But here's the deal. My thing is too with Trump. Now, what kills me is like this motherfucker. He bigs up the military so much, but does nothing for the military. Didn't go to the little memorial thing. Hasn't been, talks all this shit about the football players, but it's been more of these motherfuckers that go overseas and go visit the troops and go do all these things than he has yet to do. He's been in the office fucking 2 years now, basically, and has yet to go visit the troops just to go show a sign of support. But to everybody else, it's okay. It's okay because he's got so much. He's got so much he's got to do. But he's been golfing, more times in the first couple of years than any president, like in their whole term or some shit like that. Like I say, to me, it's not that I give a fuck about any of them. They're all trash to me. I tell you, I hate all the fucking politicians. But my thing is, let's be honest, if you're going to feel one way about one of them, you need to have that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Have the same energy. Because Obama ain't do shit for me. He was black, halfway. He ain't do shit for me. Trump ain't doing shit for me. Bush ain't do shit for me. Clinton ain't do shit for me. Probably Clinton did do shit to me, or people like me, or Hillary did, but y'all motherfuckers be wanting to vote her there talking about, I think she said she gonna try to run again. Bitch, you couldn't walk the first time when you was running. What you gonna run again? And being passed out fucking on the campaign trail. But here's the deal. We'll open up the deadline for a little bit. Yeah, motherfucker, Clinton was putting niggas all in jail, come with all that shit, and then niggas talking about vote for her. I'm with her. I'm with her. Yeah, and that's what it is, man. It is. I don't think Trump is a great reflection. I think it's. I think he's a good reflection of certain segments of the society, but the way the electoral college is set up and things of that nature, But would I rather have Trump over Hillary? Probably so. Because what kills me is, motherfuckers was mad at Kanye for going to visit the president. Now, Kanye, he was on some cuckoo shit. He had some real good game, but the way he handled about the shit, he was just too fanboy on some old weird shit, But I think if somebody would have went there on some legitimate shit when he had the opportunity, I think Meek had the opportunity. If he'd have sat down and really chopped up some shit, I think some shit could have gotten done. But Kanye was like, hey, look at my phone and, hey, got this cool stuff. Now, he had some good messages, some shit he was trying to say, but I think his agenda, the way he went about it was kind of hard to take that shit seriously. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you couldn't see that Hillary was suspect from the jump, again, you weren't looking for it because she had that whole DNC under her thumb. She basically made everybody not pay attention to Bernie. All right, we got a call here. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, what's up, Honcho? This Ernest, man.
Ernest, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you got going? What you want to drop in the den this evening?
Hey, it's a couple things real quick about what you was talking about the whole police incident with the security guard in Chicago. Like, it's a double standard, bro. Like, I was in Cleveland, you know what I'm saying, the other day. I go in the store. They got this dude, I'm going to be real, white dude. He open carrying, got his gun on his hip.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, if I did the same thing, bruh, they'll call the laws, run up on me, blah, blah, blah. It's just a double standard in that regard. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's why it need to be some type of police reform. But that leads me to my other point, which is a question I got for you. Why do you think the police is being militarized the way it is when dealing with the civilian population?
That's a good question. I got a couple of little thoughts on that, and one of those things being like, I'll start with what you said, what you asked first. Why they being militarized? Because it's crazy. Because they have shit in the police departments that shit the Army don't even got, or they got old Army shit. I mean, and you thinking about this is America. This is supposed to be the people. You're supposed to be, protecting and serving. But again, it's going to be a situation where they're going to be ready to round motherfuckers up, and they're going to be ready. Because you think about that Boston bomber incident a couple of years back and how they was handling that shit. They was basically snatching people up out their house. I look at that shit as a as a training exercise. dragging people out their houses in the middle. It wasn't no, you had no rights then. Motherfucker pointing them at gunpoint, putting them in the middle of the road, telling them, this, that, and the third, and claiming that they looking for this man. So I think that's going to be eventually to use on the people when the people start uprising. Because I think it's honestly, I think it's going to be a situation sooner than later. Like, I'm being realistic because you just look at the way the world is going. I mean, if you keeping your eyes open, it's not all peaches and cream. Some people think that they're in a situation where it's getting better, it's getting greater. But there's a lot of little things that are going on that are, you could say, signs of the time, And I think that it's they know some things. There's a lot of information they don't share with civilians, but I think they're using that because, again, they're gonna be ready to use all that shit on us because it ain't like it's that many terrorists and all that.
Right, and you know what I'm saying. You spot on, bro, with your assessment as far as I'm concerned. Now, it's something else, bro. I was listening to the psychologist one time, and he used a term that I never heard, and I'm gonna bounce it off you. He described our society as a crimogenic society. Now, what he meant by crimogenic, he say this society criminalizes its citizens. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about the what they call prison pipe to prison, right?
Yeah.
Where you talking about, you know what I'm saying? Drugs, gang activity, whatever it may be. So, you know what I'm saying? It justifies the police department to get all this stuff, bro, like military like weapons, blah blah blah, SWAT team. You know what I'm saying? And it allows me to think, bro, like you always say, man, you gotta read. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because when you read, different things, it allows you to assess yourself and say, how can I be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem? You know what I'm saying? That way I fall into certain traps that may be laid out, you know what I'm saying, like subliminally or openly. Yeah. But anyway, that was just, my thoughts in that regard. But back, I want to comment on your original question about do men hate women, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say this real quick, Honcho. In the essence, I'm going to say no. And the reason I say this, bro, is because I guess this is from somewhat of a religious context, but, man and woman, bro, in the essence, are to be together to do one thing, and that's procreate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the essence, one can't hate the other. Now, when you start dealing with society and certain things that condition our minds and alter our behavior patterns, that's a whole nother issue. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But anyway, man, that's what I got, Honcho, man. Appreciate you taking my call.
Ernest, before you hang up, can you repeat that word for me one more time? I want to look that up. You said the criminal. I wanted to write that down.
Oh, yeah, it's a crimogenic society.
Okay.
He said we live in a crimogenic society, and that's where the people in authority criminalize to turn his citizenry, or at least a certain segment of his citizenry, into criminality. That way they can justify, certain things like I say, the militarizing of the police force, the expansion of the prisons, like you heard Trump, bro, a little while back talking about giving teachers guns in school. Yeah. That's what that do. You know what I'm saying? Open up the door to all kind of crazy justifications that really shouldn't be happening. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, man, I appreciate that, Ernest. Man, I always dropping knowledge every time you call, man. I appreciate that.
All right, bro, no problem.
Already.
All right.
And man, I have to agree with him, like he was saying, though, in the essence that men and women are supposed to be together. But when you start implementing what society does and how it brings to the table, we got a call. We'll take this call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hello, this is T'Challa, and I wanted to get in on a piece of the conversation that you were chopping it up with the previous gentleman, because it's another side to that. As I stated in the chat, this country is slowly but surely turning into a police state. And there's different things that has happened over time to assure that that happens. One of the major things that occurred was the signing the National Defense Authorization Act by your great Black Hope, Mr. Obama, when he was in service. He signed this back at the end of December in like 2013. And basically what it does is it gives the military the right to act as a police force and the right to take anyone, even American citizens, if they're considered suspected of being terrorists, no proof, just a suspicion. And you can be detained without trial indefinitely. And the criteria for you to be suspected of terrorism is, just minor shit, having more than 7 days worth of food in your home, just little simple shit like that. That anyone can be considered a terrorist. That just gives them the right to just come up in your shit and snatch you up and just slap that terrorist name on you, and just, you have no rights. In addition to just multiple things that's just been occurring after that, just with the force of the police and them being able to just do whatever they want to you with minimal consequence.
Man, see, there you go. Well, man, y'all on fire tonight. Y'all dropping some knowledge. See, now that's crazy. Like, I didn't know, just having me being stored up. I mean, so shit, you trying to be prepared for the hurricane, as many of us out here in the Houston area are familiar with, but you have too much food in your house, so basically they can run in your house and say, okay, you up to no good, and detain you. But no, that's sad, man, because I think it's a situation where I'm sure there's all kind of hoarders and stockers and people are trying to be prepared for dangerous situations. And I mean, that's unfortunate. And again, yeah, and that's what I tell people. Obama's no better than any of them. All politicians are trash. So I definitely agree with you. I appreciate you dropping that information.
And I'm sorry, I have one more thing to say.
Okay, what you got?
To comment on the men and women thing, you were talking about how women have these standards that they want men to live up to, but they don't necessarily cannot provide those same things themselves. And basically, I really think a lot of that has to do with how, because you said it wasn't always like this. And I agree. I think like social media plays a large part in that. People watching what other people are doing and becoming jealous and envious of what other people got going on because they looking at people and watching what other people doing all day. And so that whole movement of, if he's a real man, he'll just take me as I am, it's just a cop-out to be lazy. That's all it is. You don't want to do anything to improve yourself or challenge yourself to do anything different, show no kind of discipline or care for yourself. You just rather, put the other person down and make them feel like they're less than, that they don't accept you for who you are. And then, they get into these little groups with all these like-minded losers, and it just perpetuates that cycle. But I don't think men hate women. Men will always love women and seek out women, but I just think that everyone just has a certain standard of the type of person that they want to be with, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Awesome, man.
So that's my take.
All right, well, thank you for calling in, T'Challa. I mean, you brought some very valid points on both topics. I appreciate the call.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
Very good point. Very good point, man. Look, y'all on fire tonight. And I definitely have to agree. Like I say, again, you got to watch these things. And especially, when you just live in life, we get so distracted by everything else that's going on. We miss out on a lot of these acts and things that are signed. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, man. It's your boy Josh again, man.
Josh, what you got, man? What you want to drop in the den this evening?
Hey, man, but to answer your question, first off, moving it, men and women hate each other. I don't think they really hate each other. I just think that people have standards. Sometimes it's really impossible standards. Sometimes it's just really standards that you can achieve, and they have goals for themselves. So I mean, I'm not against anybody that has high goals for themselves, but the 6 foot tall thing, I mean, you can't really control that past you 21 or something. So it is what it is. But but I feel like everybody's trying to be seen. Everybody's trying to get clout. Everybody's trying to be sort of like everybody just trying to be the next big thing and stuff like that. But and it's proven again today because
I don't know if it was 2 days ago. Like, I know you don't watch Breakfast Club, but I just seen like it's a short clip, and this girl was talking about, not this girl talking about, I want to come and stuff like that. Talking about sex just straight up is all over the place and stuff. I'm like, damn man, this what this world came to, man. So I mean, it's craziness, man. About that UTSA space. The reason why I got so big is she's not any other student. She's a student that does all the orientation. So everybody in the school knows exactly who she is. So I knew it was gonna be a bad situation as soon as I seen her there. So that's my take.
Okay, man. I appreciate you calling in, Josh, man. That's I'm gonna have to look further into the situation though. Like I said, I saw a little bit of it, but I'm gonna definitely look it up, check it out with the sound off and everything after the stream. But that's pretty interesting to see what's going on with that situation right there. Like I say, every day is something, man. It's always something.
Yep.
That's crazy. But I appreciate the call, Josh. All right. Man, and again, like I say, some very valid points, man. As far as the topic with men and women hate each other, ultimately, and I don't, and I agree, but I think it's the construct of society that has altered. The social media, I do believe, plays a part. People see that, hey, well, over there, look, she's doing this, I'm just as good as she is. I'm everything. Well, you might not be. Everybody, we may have been created equal. We may have been created equal, but it's up to you to determine how good you become, because you can't be equal to a mother. Oh, men were created equal. It doesn't mean everybody's equal, because you got to look at it like this. If you busting your ass, I'm going to take this call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got dropped? We got called into the den this evening.
Oh, you remember, man, but I just seen something crazy, but I think it was just one post that even this woman posted, and I don't want to be bashing women this person I know at school was talking about how one of her exes, she went back and she went because she went back and she read the tweets and stuff, and it's she started laughing for hours just how she broke up with that dude over text. It's just being crazy out there, man.
Yeah, man, it's a wild thing.
Who does that, bro?
Because it's like I say, it's just, man, it's because, and that's the thing too, the ability that you don't really have to interact with people. Man, I think that's part of it. But yeah, I think with the text and with the thing, you don't have to really interact with motherfuckers now. It's like, oh well, I'm over this, so I'm gonna do it digitally. I'm not even gonna show my family. I'm gonna send it through some text messages, and I'm not gonna answer phone calls. It's like I said, I don't think that men and women, again, in essence, like Ernest said, that they don't hate each other. I think a good man wants a good woman, and he wants to build something good. But I think that what you get caught up now, because everybody gets to have a say-so and an opinion, when there's really a lot of trash people out there who should not be entitled to an opinion. I hate to say that. That's why sometimes I understand the elitists, and that's probably not a good thing to say, but everybody doesn't deserve an opinion. There's some motherfuckers who should just shut the fuck up, because you've never brought anything of value ever to society, but you feel entitled to say so because you exist. But like I say, everybody's created equal. We're all made the same way. Well, some of y'all some test tube babies, but we're all made the same way. But it's what you do after that fact. So if your parents encourage you to be intelligent and start helping you get a head start on life, cool. If they don't, but you have an understanding once you become 18, or however old, you start realizing shit, you start grinding from that point, cool. That's where the equality, because that's where it becomes inequalities, because it's about the work you put in as a being. After that, there's no more equal. I'm not going to sit here and say a motherfucker who is, 500 pounds and eating, a fucking half a grocery store a day is going to be equal to the motherfuckers who's disciplined and is a gymnast or is a bodybuilder who, they work out every day, put in 2 hours of work in the gym every day, and whatever it may be. There's not equal. I'd be a dumbass and say, well, those two people are equal. And they both have minds, they both have whatever, but they don't even respect themselves equally. So they're not equal. And so I think that that's kind of the problem that I have with this whole everybody's not fucking equal. Okay, it might not sound like a fair thing to say, but life is not fair. You know what I mean? Because everything, it's not. So, but I do agree that with most people saying that, that men and women ultimately do not hate each other. But I think we hate the representation of what the other has become. I think women hate now the soft ass soy boy, man bun dude, the hipster beard, but there's really nothing masculine about you. You know what I mean? I think women hate that, but for some reason guys think it's cool. They fall in love with themselves over that weird shit. I think men hate the thottish ways of women. Like, you want your woman to be a freak. You want your woman to like, and niggas love strippers and they love porn stars, but they don't want every woman in the world being that. You want your woman to be a lady and then in the bedroom be that porn star for you. Be that, but then you want to be out in public and be able to enjoy it and have nice. You don't want this bitch looking like a full-time fucking sex doll. You got a bunch of that's what I say, you don't even need the sex doll brought to have these hoes walking around looking like that. And I think that's where hoes get it misconstrued. Oh, well, I'm a video vixen, I'm a bad. But no, you're not. You trashy most of the time. You're not even suitable for everyday life. Like, you have to live a life of a sex worker because that's what you look like. That's how you exist. So my thing is, it's just that it's a crazy deal. But I mean, I brought some good points, man. Like I said, I think there is a double standard because, like I said, and I've seen it myself. But that's why I say at the same time, being honest with you, it's kind of about how you carry yourself. But even then, you still gonna have some biases because I've seen situations where two motherfuckers, I would both call them low class, black and white. But it's about your comfort zone around people because, like, I was in a store and it was one of my cousins that I tell you I don't really fuck with. He come in this bitch, he got a fucking hoodie on, he got some tattoos and shit, but you really can't tell us. You see him come in because he was waiting on me for something. And he's a little dude, so he's not intimidating or nothing. And you see people kind of looking and being nervous. We were like in a Tractor Supply. I forgot what we were getting. And they looking like he's going to do something. I'm just like, man, take the hoodie off so these motherfuckers don't start no shit. White dude comes in right behind him, about my size, tatted all up from the neck. I think he had some on his face. My kinfolk, he only had like shit on his arms and shit, so you really can't even see those. I mean, he might have had some lower arm shit, but you couldn't really even see the shit. This motherfucker tatted all the way up, got his hoodie on, same shit. You think the motherfucker's bad at the eye? Not at all. But again, I look at certain things as conditioning because, like I say, when you're black and you didn't come from certain neighborhoods, you look at motherfuckers as, oh, that's normal. It's normal to you. To other motherfuckers, they uncomfortable. But the same sense in where you have white people who deal with like skinheads, they got racists in their family stuff, it becomes normal to them. They don't think they're very bad people. It's just that, they got some kind of messed up ways, and it's the same thing. But when those things cross over, that's when you see different perspectives, and it's unfortunate, but there is a double standard, and I can try to apply sense and logic behind it and try to have understanding, which I try to have understanding in all situations because in most things people are just ignorant, but that does not take away from the fact that there is still a double standard. So like I say, you just got to do what you got to do. And it's fucked up. And that's why I say, there's, like I say, I can't give you my solution because I'm going to sell it one day because once I release my solution, it's either a make or break. So if I release it, it can ruin everything. Or I could release it and then, if somebody take my shit and run with it, I need some credibility for it. So like I said, I'm keeping my solution to myself until I get to a certain point. But my thing is, it's unfortunate, man. But I mean, you got to be realistic, because I'm gonna call it like it is. But at the same time, I try not to let the race thing apply. But like I say, if it's everything's not racism, and that's where shit gets watered down. But when it is a real situation that you need to take a real long look at, that's what I'm going to get behind. I'm going to support and say, yeah, that shit right there, this motherfucker wasn't doing nothing wrong, and then nobody wants to say anything. Nobody wants to condemn anything. Everybody's acting quiet now because they're trying to figure out what kind of story to make up, what kind of paperwork to alter, and then things like that. Motherfuckers need to be held accountable. Honestly, it is what it is. But what's probably going to happen is that dude who, if he did not die, the guy who was being pinned down or held down or whatever, he's going to get charged with that murder charge. Because the way it works is if the cops kill somebody trying to stop you from doing a crime or whatever, if they kill them, not you, don't have nothing to do with it, you get that charge. So that's basically what's going to happen, man. So it's motherfucking me fucked up, man. So it is what it is. So yeah, birds ruin the whole bears. That's fucking funny. I don't know about some of y'all youngsters and some of this music y'all listen to. Is y'all got it all confused. Y'all like it's some it like today's music is all about addiction and some simpery going on and some other weird shit. Like I don't know what the fuck y'all be into. This new shit is weird, nigga. So that's kind of my deal. Come back like Jesus when the Bills do. But here's the deal. I'm finna get ready to call it a wrap, man. I fucks with y'all. I appreciate all of y'all, you know. And just because, like I said, we didn't have a conversation, I told y'all, look, because I think some people get it misconstrued. Because, like I say, I don't, when I sit here and I say I don't assign myself to the pro-black mentality because of the way that pro-black label is and that whole community, like, doesn't mean I don't give a damn about black issues. We talk about black issues in this motherfucker quite often. You know, my view of them may be a little bit different than most people. But at the same time, I think there's just a different way of you got to handle and carry yourself. But when we do have these real conversations, these real situations, you know, you have to take a real look at that type of shit and understand that shit, but for what it really is, you know. So it's like I said, I'm not oblivious to certain things, but it is what it is. So here's the deal. I'm call it a wrap here. I may do like a little brief mix because I'm waiting till midnight to go hit the gym. I like to go to the gym a little bit after midnight. So I may do a little brief mixer for a few while I'm waiting to do that, and so I can ice my knee down. And so if y'all want to fuck with that in about 10 minutes, maybe do that for about 30, 40 minutes or so before I get ready to hit the gym. And just to kill the time. But with that being said, I fucks with y'all. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Yeah, just a mix during the week. Because normally, like I say, normally I don't do it, but like I said, I just prefer to go to the gym after midnight just to make sure, you know, I got the motherfucker to myself. And make sure y'all hit that link. Den shop in the link. Go get you one of them den mugs, some other den stuff in there. Cause yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get back consistent with it. So it is what it is. Nah, we playing Tomb Raider tonight. Fuck all that bullshit. Nah, but I'm gonna look at some of these things that y'all done sent me, man. That's very interesting. But like I said, I fucks with y'all. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I'm chunking up the deuce. And with that being said, Kenneth ain't here, so I ain't gonna kick y'all out. I'll politely escort y'all to the door. Adios.